listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Hello, I'm Frank Skinner, and I'm on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean, and wait for it, Steve Hall is with us this morning. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email us through the Absolute Radio website. Steve.
Good morning.
Always a pleasure.
Lovely to be in. The Cockerel has been an actor.
The Cockerel, can you believe it, is on location.
Cockerel's going to get famous. I love it. And I'm going to spend so much more time with him.
When I first got the email, I thought there was a line missing and that he was working on location. But no, he's in a mysterious sitcom, which I don't know if we're allowed to talk about.
I don't know if we are. I'm hoping that he's going to play an asthmatic in it.
Yeah.
Yes, because he did play Jason the asthmatic in... Was it Casualty or Holby?
I think it was Catweasel.
Oh.
No, it wasn't one of those. It was something...
You know what, Frank?
It was something less than one of those.
I know he's not here. Yes, it was Always and Everything, A&E.
Oh, okay, there you go.
I was worried it might have been Doctors.
My fear for Cockerel, I don't want him to go when he gets all famous because of the sitcom, is a bit Stringfellas. Do you know what I mean by that?
Well, I think he's on the cusp. We'll see how he is when he comes back.
If he's suddenly all actory.
But, you know...
Was I wonderful, darling?
How are you going to keep them down on the farm now that they've seen Paris? That's the question.
You always say that.
Yeah, I know, but I know.
I said that when I did an internet show at Edinburgh.
Yeah, but you know, I was sitting this morning and Emily was telling Steve all about all the new work projects that I don't know about. In slightly hushed tones, like, oh, not in front of Frank. It's a bit like A Star Is Born. When the husband's career crumbles as the wife's becomes massive, and in the end he has to walk into the ocean.
Oh, put your briefs on for that, won't you?
I think he's wearing a full evening suit when he does it, James Mason.
I thought he wore a bathrobe, but we'll discuss it.
Yeah, I've never seen the Christopherson-Streisand version.
Oh, you've missed the treat.
You know who was offered the Christopherson part?
Not the Cockerel.
No, I think he was offered the Streisand part. But he wouldn't wear the nose.
Oh, no.
It's very, very...
Who was offered it?
Elvis Presley was offered that part. And his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, said he didn't want Elvis playing some washed-up old pop star.
No, the very idea.
Yeah. OK, so... well, can I start by asking your advice on this? I had not abused, but I had a bit of a nasty look from a van driver this week. And what happened is I was crossing a zebra crossing. And I always make a point of saying thank you when a car stops. I know they're supposed to stop legally once my foot hits the crossing. But, you know, it makes the world go round. A bit of politeness. But I didn't bother saying thank you because someone else was crossing from the other side and I saw that they'd said thank you. Now, I'd have thought the etiquette is that woman became our representative on the crossing. So once she'd said thank you, I didn't want to add a thank you because I'd have felt that my gesture would have had to have been a bit of a bigger version of what she'd done.
Yes. Yeah. And also, because you've got the cloak of celebrity, you might have looked like you were stealing her thunder a bit.
Yeah, well, I don't know if this bloke would have necessarily recognised me. But I didn't wave, and he gave me that look that sometimes you get when you don't wave. And I never quite sure... I've started to do the smile instead of the wave. More...
On the crossing?
It's a bit like when you're bidding for an item in auction. You start off waving your arms about, but once you get further along the bidding, just a little nod of the head is plenty.
The Lovejoy half eyelid.
I feel, and I know, you know, some people won't agree with this because it might sound a bit anti-feminist, but I don't care. If I've got heels on and I'm all done up in my frock, and a man stops for me, and I know that, let's say, probably 48% of the reason he stopped is to have a look.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I know that. I totally know that's happening. I think you've got to give something back. So I give them a treat, and then I give them a nice smile and a wave.
A little bit of sugar.
What's the nature of the treat that you give them?
Well, I turn round, I look them full on in the face.
Oh, okay.
Flash a bit of garter.
No!
You don't do that Miley Cyrus tongue thing. And just take a little bit of bird lime off the windscreen with it. Just with the very point of the tongue. And then you get the sort of green worm in the bird lime, not that like people can with a cherry stalk.
Fine.
Oh, wouldn't that be something?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
You reminded me of at that time I was I stopped at a zebra crossing. It was it's about 1:30 in the morning in London, and some girls,
A bit late.
some party girls.
What are you doing out that
I was
time?
coming back from somewhere, I can't remember where. And anyway, when they crossed the crossing, they all turned. There was 4 of them, I think, turned and all raised their tops as a sort of a thank you. Yeah, they were wearing brassieres. If that's what you're thinking.
Oh, God.
But for weeks after, when anyone crossed, any woman who crossed the zebra crossing in front of me and just nodded or waved, I'd think, is that it?
I'm going to have to seriously up my game.
Yeah, exactly. You reminded me of that with your...
Not just the beacon that was flashing.
I had actually,
Yes.
Frank, this is weird. This is crossing week, because I had a weird incident at... I don't know if it was zebra or pedestrian. I can never tell the difference. But I was looking at my GPS on my phone. I was very lost. I was in Parsons Green. I will never go there again.
Okay.
And an estate agent was trying to help me. He just came up to me and said, "Are you okay? Are you a bit lost?"
Did he have flames on the side of his car? I don't know if this is a national phenomenon, but in London, certainly, estate agents are given company cars that have things like flames on the
Yeah.
side. Or sometimes there's that one that's got like an X-ray of the workings of the car.
It's
On the outside.
the flames to indicate that their path to hell is that bit more
Yes.
swift than everyone else.
They're usually
They
like
should buy
the
that for
new
Catherine
minis,
Jenkins.
that kind of
Yeah.
thing, aren't
Yes,
they?
he was very new mini.
Yeah.
He said, "Look, I work at estate agents, I can help you." So we were trying to look at the GPS, nothing doing, and he wandered off in the end. So I was near a crossing, not on a crossing, but quite near it, and a woman in a big Range Rover with dogs in the back. And she sort of swerved round, and she went, "Look, are you crossing?" And I said, "Oh, no, don't worry." And she went, "I'm not worried, I just wish you'd make up your beeping mind."
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I thought, I wish there was a number you could ring the police. I wanted to ring the police to report her for rudeness.
I wish there was a small handset you could press that would make dogs attack the nearest person. And she could have been hoisted by her own... what dogs were they?
Labs.
Crikey.
Hoisted by her own labs. That sounds very painful indeed. I don't know if they'd take the weight, I'll be honest with you. So, anyway, so that was that. We've had some texts.
Frank, we've had some texts in.
Oh, thank God for that.
Well, we've had... Hi, Frank. What did you think of Atlantis? Because you were all set to watch that.
I was very, very excited about
Well,
Atlantis.
Alison's got some views. Listen to what she's got to say,
Okay.
and then share yours. I really wanted to enjoy it, but spent most of the programme really annoyed that Jason, washed up naked on the beach, stole not only some pants to cover his gentleman's excuse me, but the whole outfit, belt and leather wrist cuffs included.
That's a very good point, actually. Because
She
he was
says-
naked and someone had left some clothes, but he could have just had the basics. He didn't have to take the accessories as well.
Maybe it was Russell Brand. It could have been his clothes.
No, I think you'd rather go naked, wouldn't you?
I'll continue to watch, but no, I'll be stressed by trivial details. I hope you enjoyed it. That's from Alison.
Well, I haven't completed watching my recording of it yet, and that's not a good sign, is it? I kept thinking, oh, but it isn't Merlin, was one of my problems. But, I have to get over that. It's like that, that new relationship when you keep having flashbacks to the previous one and things, yeah, but, what's happened to our song?
The good thing is you're the only person in the country still saying, "Oh, I wish it was Merlin."
I doubt that. I doubt that, and I'm sure our switchboard will be. And also, Sandy Ward next door, who's the cleverest person I know, is also agreeing with me with the thumbs up. So there. So shut your face.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Frank, what about 723? Frank, I totally agree with the Merlin quote. Best show around to fill my hole in my life, and I'll dress up as Merlin every Saturday night and force my girlfriend to dress as Morgana and reenact battles. # Team Merlin.
Respect. Morgana, that was a handsome woman.
I like how that text starts out supporting the show and ends a bit pervy.
Yeah, but you know,
That's like me.
it. That's it with Merlin. It's a springboard for all sorts of darkness.
We've also had 669 has objected. and said,
That sounds a bit diabolic. Borderline diabolic. 669.
It's a bit Kay Jenkins.
Yeah. That started off diabolic and got a bit rude at the end.
that's the party bit of hell.
Hey, Satan at the front, party at the back. Like the mullet.
And Johnny, who was on 669, had said, "Whoa, what's wrong with Parsons Green?"
Oh, no.
Yeah. When was that another Saturday night, popular Saturday night fantasy drama?
I don't know. I thought he was a character in Cluedo. I'm so sorry if I was rude about Parsons Green. It's just not my manner.
No, okay.
Okay?
Well, your manner is to be rude. Yes, I don't even know Parsons Green.
No.
It's west, isn't it?
I believe so.
Remember, there's people listening to this who live in
Albury.
Upper Dicker. And they don't want to hear a lot of Londonisms.
Yeah.
What do you think it is? East End?
It's not my problem. Carl and Joe have emailed us.
Okay.
Dear Skinner, Dean, Cochrane, per the podcasting. Sorry about that, Steve Hall in the house.
It's all fine.
In response to Daisy and the Cockerels' favourite question, what are you doing now? Oh, that's all.
Now, I don't know if you know about this, Steve. There's a lot... Daisy said to me, why don't we have some more conventional phone-ins now, text-ins now and again, rather than things like, who's your favourite member of the Communist Party? And so...
How much does it cost to build a wall?
Yeah, so we tried one week, what are you doing while you're listening to this programme? What are you up to? And it actually didn't go that badly.
No.
But I felt a bit... I felt a bit like a radio presenter.
You felt a bit foxy.
Yeah, I did. But, you know, I thought, you know, that's a bit snobby of me. So we could do, what did you do last night? What about that? Hey, hey guys, what did you do last night, eh?
You really want to do that with our listeners?
Yeah.
They always
I'll tell you what I did last night. I had a night in with my... I put the baby to bed, and then we had my girlfriend and my mother-in-law.
Lovely.
And... we combined doing a crossword, so I've got my mother-in-law and me doing a crossword across the room, while the three of us also watched Miss World 2013.
Oh, lovely!
So it was a combination of the intellectual
and
the 70s.
Who were you rooting for?
Who was I rooting for? Well, I from the very start said Miss Philippines, and blow me down if she didn't win it.
I'm always a Venezuela fan.
Oh, right. Well, see, Kat said to me, Miss Philippines, I think she said, hideous nose, she said. But she won it, nevertheless. Which, if there's anyone listening with a hideous nose, you see, it's possible to overcome
Don't
that.
let anything hold you back.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, Carl and Joe, who asked this question, said, just letting you know, we are packing up our house in Sydney to move to London on Wednesday.
Wow.
Looking forward to hearing you live in the same time zone next week.
So as we're speaking to Carl and Joe, as we speak to them, they're sort of wrapping individual cops and stuff like that, and putting them
some of
into
the bigger
teams.
arguments their relationship will ever enjoy.
That's quite a move, isn't it?
Oh,
What
that's
do
a
you
big
do?
one.
You don't bring it all over on a plane.
I don't know, we've done it a few times, but...
I'd just leave it and buy everything new when I got it.
When my wife came over, my wife is an Australian lady.
Oh, yes.
Most of it went on a ship, so she brought the essentials on the flight.
Oh, I see.
And then we got everything else about 6 months later.
Okay, well, there's in the end, in my end is my beginning. The answer has been given to me no sooner I've asked it. How wonderful.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
We have had a tweet, Frank, from Ella Marie.
I love it. I love it so far. I'm imagining
was
now drinking Chardonnay.
I think she was married to Elvis. It's just that kind of type of name.
More like the daughter.
Well, she's
of
put
her.
her, on the tweets, her surname is Ella Marie Pye, as in P-I. So unless she's either a private investigator, or she means pie in the sense that her name has no end.
Oh, yeah.
She's got many
I love
recurring
it.
decimal
Ella Marie
places.
P.I. is
Maybe
good.
she's a numerologist.
She could be. Ella Marie, P.I., Pi, whoever you are. She said, and she's hashtagged it Team Frank, which is already, she's off to a winner. She said, this is referring back to a previous show, one that I was not present for, but I listened to the show.
Do you?
I'm up with it, yeah. I listened to the podcast.
Okay. Let's see. The second I question him, he back down. One minute he listens to the show, now it's the podcast. Soon it'll be bits of the podcast.
Yeah.
Then somebody once mentioned to him in a bar.
I get Cockerell gives me a synopsis.
He's changed.
Ella Marie said, if it's one family at a time in the changing room, there should be a lock to keep others out to show the room is occupied.
You're exactly right. In case there's any new readers this week or anyone who missed the last chapter, I went into the family changing room I was taking my baby swimming.
Yeah.
And there's a man and his baby in there, and it was a bit cramped, and at one point he said, he's an American guy, and he said, I guess this place isn't designed for 2 people.
And you expressed outrage.
No, I said, I think we're doing pretty well. I was genial, which I think is the British way. And then when I mentioned this on the radio, I got quite a lot of text, people saying it's only supposed to be one family in the family changing room, and I was some sort of interloper. But yes, I think that Ella Marie makes an excellent point. If it's one lock, why not have a lock on it like you would a toilet cubicle? I mean, I would not have gone into a toilet cubicle and done that.
Well,
unless it was Jerry Halliwell's. Jerry Halliwell apparently doesn't shut the door on her toilet cubicle because he's a bit claustrophobic.
I had someone burst in on me the other day.
Did you?
Yeah. I was at the install offices, and I must have not locked the door.
How can you forget to lock the
don't
door on
know.
the toilet? One of the very important things in
The
life.
cleaner came in.
Well, I find that cleaners now, female cleaners walk into the men's toilets all the time.
I did not say it was female.
No.
I did not say it was female.
No, but
cleaner.
I'm moving on. I'm developing. If you don't evolve in this world, you die. I find that at one time there would be a bit of door knocking and that. Now, and it's happened to me a couple of times in the last fortnight that I've been, let's say, in the vicinity of a urinal, and a woman has come in with a bag of toilet rolls or something of the sort and just strolled past. You know, and I love it. But I know not everyone does.
We've had some responses to the "What did you do last night?"
Right.
Question.
I can't tell Frank what I did last night because he'll be sickened.
Oh,
Goodness, is it morally transgressive?
Well, it's something he'll disapprove of.
Okay.
I watched season 5, episode 6, Broken Bird.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah.
Didn't everybody? I watched Miss World 2013.
No, but Daisy and I discovered the Cockerells made a terrible mistake. He was saying, because it was big publicity, it was the last ever episode of Breaking Bad. It's all over the American news.
Oh, so
everyone's
it's
talking
finished
about
now,
it.
Breaking Bad. Thank God
But
for
I'm a
that.
bit behind. No, but Frank, it was the last ever episode. The Cockerell said, I don't need to, I've seen it. I've seen them all. We need to get to the bottom of this. He lied. He hasn't seen them all. We said, but it hasn't aired yet, the last episode. He goes, no, I've seen it.
But you know, current the way he is now, he's probably in it. Now he's become a proper actor and stuff. What was we talking about?
Sorry, Steve Hall.
I was no people. What did they do last night?
We've had quite a few responses. 739 has texted to say, what I did last night, I played FIFA 14 and beat West Brom 8-2 as Everton, ha ha ha. And the ha 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 seems to imply that he thinks that's a result that happened in real life rather than on a computer game.
Whereas I think the real result this season, were Everton were unable to inflict a victory over West Brom at Goodison.
Oh, dear.
And 550 has texted, what did my wife and I do last night? The answer is filth. No, not that. We watched the film with James McAvoy.
Oh, did you? Of course, I can't watch that because Irving Welsh once slagged off 3 Lions.
Did he?
Yeah.
Is that because he had the rival, the big team, the Scream Team and the Big Man meet the Army Uptown?
No,
he was a rival single. He had a single in...
I don't
He
know.
had a single in 96.
And what was his called? 3 Lines.
Frank
Skinner
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Now, look, something happened to me this week, and I think I'll probably tell you, and you'll think, well, that's an unremarkable thing. Why even bother mentioning it when it's an everyday occurrence? To me, it's something that I can't remember the last time it happened to me. And it felt sort of retro and odd. And what happened is I was walking down the street, and there was a man sitting in a van, parked, and he leaned out the window and said, "Excuse me, have you got the time?" And I thought, I couldn't believe it. I thought, yeah, I've got the time. It's 1980. That's the last time someone asked me the time. I thought, is it possible in the modern world not to know? Because everyone's got a phone with the time, even if they don't have a watch.
I would say it's hard to avoid the time these days.
Yeah. Well, was it? I've been touring around the last month or so with Russell Howard quite a lot, and it's a fairly regular thing where people will ask him a mundane question just so that they've had an interaction with him. So that's quite a thing. A thing he gets quite a lot is, do you have the time?
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think... I didn't get the impression from this bloke at all that it was a celebrity moment. I really felt he wanted to know the time.
Did you tell him?
Well, what I did was I don't know if this was a bit odd. I just pulled up my sleeve and I showed him my watch really close, quite close to his face.
Did you? Oh, it was a bit of a passive-aggressive one.
Because I was speechless that someone... It's like having a glass of milk. It's something that just doesn't happen to me anymore.
It never happened.
Was it a van driver?
It was a van driver, yeah. So it made me think about the speaking clock.
I sometimes ring the speaking clock.
Do you really?
Well, I'll tell you
that's
why.
what I was wondering about. Who on earth now rings the speaking clock?
Because I don't trust my phone sometimes, and I think it's slipping. This is what a control freak I am. I don't trust it, and I've been proven right on occasion.
I know, but you can put in current time on Google.
I still don't trust it.
You don't trust that?
No.
It was always a fun thing to do, the speaking clock, when the clocks went forward or back. Or on New Year's Eve. That was a thing. Me and my brothers used to go crazy for that.
Well, ringing the speaking clock?
Just to hear him repeat himself or hear him skip an hour.
Oh, okay.
It felt like the world was full of magic.
Okay. I must remember that.
Then we got a computer and things moved on.
Yeah, but did you... have I ever mentioned Dial-A-Disc on this show?
I love Dial-A-Disc. 160.
Dial-A-Disc, you used to phone up, and they used to play a current chart hit.
I did it. I did.
But I didn't know anyone who had a phone then.
Oh, I find that so heartbreaking.
Go to a phone box, put money in,
didn't.
and stand for 3 minutes listening to Ballpark Incident by Ry Wood's Wizard, and then go.
I was Stray Cat Strut. Oh.
Yeah, well, I was a bit before you, I suppose.
But, Frank, that makes me so sad.
I don't think... What an odd... It was like when they used to have booths in record shops where you listened to the record before you bought it.
Yeah.
But Dial-A-Disc, that stopped presumably because everyone's got...
Well, you can hear music when you're on demand now, darling.
Anyway, I found it an odd thing that he asked me the time, and it reminded me a bit when my dad came in with his hand all swollen up, and he said that someone had asked him the time on the way back from the pub, and he said, "I'm not falling for that old one." And he hit him and knocked him over a garden wall, he told me.
Crikey.
Yeah. So that bloke must have thought my dad had recently been fired from the voice of the speaking clock and was taking it really, really badly.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We've had a text, Frank, from 999. This is one of the drawbacks of the three-number...
Yeah.
The police have texted us. Saying, Frank, regarding people asking for the time, I was walking the dog one morning and a woman, who was obviously a bit worse for wear, asked me the time. When I said 7 o'clock, she stared at me for a while and then asked, is that in the morning or evening?
See, I like that. That's like
I like that.
In Doctor Who when you ask people what year it is and they look a bit nervous and like he's messing about. Wow, what a crazy party animal or mentally ill person that must be.
Do you know, I'm sure I've done that to people as well.
Really?
Why not now? I've sorted myself out, haven't I?
Oh, yeah.
Frank, we've had another text in. Well, it's an email, actually. It says, a quiz for Frank and Steve. Oh, thanks a lot.
Excellent.
I'm very excited Steve Hall, a.k.a. Wikistevia, is on today.
Well, we all are.
I hope you get to my email below so that Frank and Steve can enjoy the quiz together. What quiz, I hear you ask?
What quiz?
Well, Frank has frequently said...
I thought I'd help you out there.
Thank
See,
you.
that's what teamwork's all about.
I love
That's building
that.
radio.
Yeah. Frank has frequently said he loves a quiz, but no
I
one
do
seems
love
to
a quiz.
send genuine quiz questions.
Well, I just think it'd be tedious for everyone listening.
Well,
How many has he sent?
nevertheless, Chanel, and it's a she.
Oh,
Chanel says, I've-
Chanel, brilliant.
I've
I
therefore-
bet number 5 will be a good question.
I'm going to clap that because I love
Thank
it so
you.
much.
Any fashion reference you'll
Yeah.
go for. Is perfume fashion? That's this week's texting.
Yes, very
is
much
perfume?
so.
What did you
fashion.
do last night? And his perfume fashion.
I've done my best to compile a few which might stretch his memory. I hope this pleases him. Oh, it's gone a bit Jane Austen.
Yes.
I hope this pleases him, sir. Anyway, I'm going to try out a few on you, Frank.
Okay.
I obviously won't just sit here asking questions all day.
No, don't worry. Don't panic anymore.
Who knitted the long scarf for Tom Baker's role in Doctor Who?
Now, I don't know the name, but I think, if I remember the story rightly, they gave a load of wool to an old woman who was somehow associated with the BBC.
Sounds horrible.
And she didn't realise that she wasn't supposed to use it all. So she just knitted and knitted and knitted till it was used up. When they
right?
brought it back, they all laughed that it was ridiculously long. But then
People laughed at Christopher
That's lovely.
Columbus, to be
Did
fair.
she think that the new Doctor Who was a giraffe?
something like that. But then Tom stuck with it and made it work.
Oh,
I think, but I don't know who she... Is the answers on there?
No.
Okay.
So, but she's in communication with us, so I've got
Okay.
another one for you.
Okay, we better not do two men.
No, but
Go
I'm
on.
going to do one more.
Okay, do it.
Which high school did Elvis Presley graduate from?
Hume High School
Ooh, I love that
in
you
Memphis.
know that.
Now, I've been to Hume High School on one of my Elvis pilgrimages.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a scary area.
Is it?
Is it?
Scary area, I quite like.
That's a good
I
band.
might do a TV show called Scary Area. It's a sort of the darker version of Panorama.
Yeah. With the dark side of Pat Sharp's Funhouse.
Yeah, it would have been a good album.
Doesn't get darker.
Pat Sharp's Scary Area.
Wouldn't it have been a good album for Bananarama? Bananarama Scary Area.
Oh, someone's just reminded us on text.
Scary Area coming at you. That could be our slogan. Oh no, that's been used.
Frank 641. I loved Dial-A-Disc too, and I also loved the bedtime story. Do you remember that?
The bedtime. Well, of course.
Well, you couldn't do that from the phone box.
No,
That
not
would
unless
be
I slept
weird.
in the phone box. I only did that about 8 times.
That was in the days when our telephone number was only 4 digits long, and we also shared a phone line with someone else up the street. Obviously, this isn't me speaking. So halfway through the story, a man would suddenly shout, "I want to use the phone."
What was... well, I'll tell you this after, because we've got to go into the news soon, but there used to be... Oh, just the used to be. We've lost all the youth. Tom Baker's scarf and Dial-A-Disc.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Steve Hall this morning. You can text us on 8 12 15. Many of you have, and you've been a rich source of interest and joy. You can also tweet us on at Frank on the Radio, or email us direct through the Absolute Radio website. And relax.
I tell you what, these almonds are going down well.
Yeah, we've all gone almonds crazy.
We've gone nuts.
And that's brilliant. That's
That's
brilliant.
what we
though.
need round here.
That's
That's
why my
really-
position on the subs bench is secure.
Yes. No, I thought that was excellent. I think we're going to need you more and more. I think now that the acting work's coming in for the cockerel. Anyway,
Hey, listen to this, 793. You were talking about an incident you'd had where someone had asked you the time and you thought it was extraordinary and a bit Terry Time Warp. And 793 said, I overheard a time request outside Starbucks in High Street, Ken, when a young lady was left none the wiser because she didn't understand the response from a man I would guess to be in his 60s, who replied to her inquiry, 5 20 after 9. That's Noel from Wembley.
sure he wasn't from the 1860s. We were talking about party lines, actually. Someone was on about having
Were we?
a party line. Is when you
I was not talking about that.
No, it's when you... Not those. In the West Midlands in the 70s, a party line was a very different thing. It was when you used to share a phone line with someone else. It was cheaper.
Really?
Yeah.
What? Human beings?
Yeah. So you'd sometimes, as that the previous reader
yes.
said, that you'd be on the line and you'd hear, excuse me, you're going to be much longer. Just come into your phone call.
That's awful.
And sometimes
Did
you'd
they
pick it
listen
up.
in, like the DEA or something? Did they listen to your conversations?
Well, I
then?
don't know.
Yeah,
Sometimes
that's
you'd pick it up and they'd be mid-conversation. You'd think, I wonder if they've heard me picking up. Because it'd be quite nice just to listen to what they say.
God, that's
it was
barbaric.
like the early days of Big Brother, in a way.
Did you misuse it? Would it get abused by pranksters?
I was always afraid that they would know if I was listening or anything like that.
Well, you're quite moral, you see, Frank, but I suspect others in the Birmingham area weren't.
Well, bear in mind, it was our first ever... I was probably 15 or 16... Oh, no, older than that, when we got our first phone. So the whole thing was... I remember my mum would answer the phone. She'd hold the receiver about 2 foot from her face and go, hello? Hello? Like that. And it was terrifying for anyone who called.
And it would have been difficult for your dad to pick the receiver up with his swollen hand.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't remember him ever
Fights.
using it, actually. Newfangled contraption, etc. But yeah, the party line. Speaking of the party line,
Oh.
what about this?
What?
What about John Bercow?
Oh, that's your mate as
That
well.
was a beautiful
speaker.
segue. You were the creator supreme.
Thank you so much. John Bercow is the Speaker of the House of Commons, as many of you will know, but I'm guessing not all of you. And he was involved in an altercation this week.
It was a real... it was terrible, actually.
A lady dashed out of a restaurant and accused him of clipping her car when he parked.
He was... Yeah, because he was squeezing his Volvo into a tight spot, and she ran out. She was fuming, wasn't she?
She was furious.
She called him an arrogant toff,
Yes.
which I see as something of an aphrodisiac. Frankly.
Yeah. Arrogant off sounds like... It's a bit like... You know the many abusive terms that end with the word off? It's like a sort of a cleaned up one. Why don't you just arrogant off? That's how you're going to be. I might start using that all the time.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We were talking about the Speaker.
Yes, John Bercow.
We should say, in the interest of full disclosure, which I believe was Andrew Neil's autobiography title.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was, full disclosure. Let's hope it wasn't. Frank is actually... I don't know if you're friends with the Speaker, but you certainly got on very well with him when I saw you.
Well,
you were all over him.
I wouldn't go so far.
Yeah.
Just my shadow was all over him. He's quite small. But we spoke for what, 5 minutes?
Oh, it's longer than that.
Oh, come
you
on.
were all over him.
You were overheard saying to him, "It's great, you're the Speaker of the House of Commons. You can crash into someone's car and get away with it."
No,
Yeah.
that's not true. Also, I mean, we don't know what happened here. Let's make
No,
that absolutely
we
clear.
don't.
But this, the lady involved who went out and also called him a little weasel. She called
did.
him after.
That's so cruel. Badger or ferret, okay, but weasel.
I think it was sizes, though.
I
You know,
don't-
you wouldn't
Yeah, yeah.
call the man who plays Jaws in what do you call Richard Keel? You wouldn't
Yeah.
call him a weasel, would you?
Richard Keys.
Richard Keys.
Yeah.
Oh, it was him, was it?
Yeah.
I won't call him a weasel. He's got the pelt of one. No, but she, as soon as Mr. Bercow had gone off to do his charity event, which is why he was there, she, did you see the photographs of her? in the-
And her, she's
posed for... She obviously thought, well, I'm going to the papers with this, and it's her leaning in the gap between the two cars. Leaning. The fact there is a gap suggests
Yeah.
maybe there wasn't a
her
problem.
bag is on his bonnet.
Yeah, I
In
know.
the
but
photo,
to be-
she's...
Well, more
To be
importantly...
fair, it was an Hermes, so...
But if you actually look, she drives a Range Rover, and you can look
does.
at these on... I don't encourage people to go to the Daily Mail website, but you can
No,
look at pictures of
certainly not this week.
this lady. And her car is parked, and the wheels are inside the white line, but the actual body of the car is sticking over the white line.
Is it?
So I would say that she's been hoisted by her own PR.
Frank, you're so right about the posing. You know what she was doing? She was doing Liz Hurley Premier Legs. She was posing in a very red carpet way.
Yeah.
Yes, she was very red
The
carpet.
wording of the article is quite interesting because calling him an arrogant toff is fairly unfair, given his dad was a cab driver, so he's not.
Is that right?
He's not.
Actually, he probably did smash into the car then. And also, I think he's allowed to urinate on the back wheel. Is that right? Is it Sandy Warris nodding next door? Honestly, it's...
And begin sentences with I'm not racist, but...
But Steve Wikipedia Hall, he's not in the same league as Sandy Warris.
No.
Remember that Warkipedia, let's call it that.
Well, he's a really interesting bloke, Bercow. He was, as a teenager, he was Britain's #1 ranked junior tennis player.
I thought you were going to say Jew for a minute. I really did. As you're Jewish, I thought that would have been okay. But I still would have got a bit tense about it.
And it's a thing you could believe existing, because we're all about league tables and achievements.
Exactly. David Baddiel, was he something like best looking Jew?
He was the sixth sexiest Jew in the UK.
Yeah, exactly. You can't.
But he was behind someone like Lord Sugar or someone like that.
Yeah, but
that's
power.
That's a shame.
Power is an aphrodisiac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say power.
I'll tell you what's an aphrodisiac, an invite to the Amstrad Christmas party. That'll do it for me.
And Viagra, I think isn't that an aphrodisiac? Anyway, so that's the texting. Aphrodisiacs.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So we're talking about John Bercow and his shenanigans this week.
Yes.
I feel quite sorry for him. Because it's quite a scary thing when you're confronted like that.
They stick together. Oh, goodness me. Once Steve heard about the Volvo, he'd chosen his side.
He said it wasn't me.
Yes,
it was a bit of a shaggy.
I wish he'd said it like that.
It wasn't me. Well, particularly because she accused him with the ferocity of an angry Scottish mother accusing her children of not being able to use the toilet properly. If you've seen that YouTube clip,
I do,
and he responded, and there's a wonderful delivery of "It wasn't me" in that particular clip.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know what happened. I keep saying that, but I didn't warm to this lady. With her fancy posing. What was the bag? What was the bag make?
I think it was an Hermes.
Hermes.
Oh, I don't have time to explain basic fashion constructs.
All I'm saying is she wouldn't have spoken to Speaker Martin like that.
Yes. Well, there was...
you know what he'd have said?
What?
Order! You park your car! Order!
To be fair as well, Frank, she was driving a Range Rover. And I think Range Rover drivers are a bit cigar smoker / I don't pay my taxes for ...
Pastel shade sweater around the
Yes.
shoulder. We don't want to generalise. I'm sure there's a lot of lovely people that drive Range Rovers. I'm just not sure she was one of them.
In the news story, there's a few sentences in the news story that implicitly sort of make a few comments about her. Things that are unnecessary. So one of the things it says, the 42-year-old divorcee, as if to imply, yes, she is very hard to live with.
Yeah, that was a bit harsh.
This is typical.
But
of
then
her.
they also named. They said what his salary was as well, just so we can work out whether he's a bad parker or
Can
not.
I guess what he's on?
Go on.
I reckon it was 152.
It was about that, yeah.
Oh, I genuinely was a guess.
Yeah, I think it's 159. I think something like that.
Well remembered.
Oh my goodness.
Well remembered.
Damn it.
The other thing that
they should
were
be like
keen...
footballers. I want to know how much a week. Not how much you get.
In the article, it said that the incident happened at 6:20 in the early evening, and she reported it at 1 a.m.
Is that right?
But the implication there was that she'd had a few vodkas.
Well, no,
she's obviously sort of told a few people about it.
She turned into white wine, which happens to us all.
Can I repeat with saying that we don't? This is all speculation. She may be a lovely person. John Bercow might have been in the wrong, or vice versa. Although I did feel it was a bit when she said he thinks he's above the law. He's not even above the dashboard.
He did admit, he said, I'm not the best driver. And I thought that showed him in a good light.
Yeah,
so.
because I think it's very... Because I'm a bit of a... I know people take the mickey out of my careful driving. Can you believe that careful driving is now seen as something to be laughed at?
Oh, I love the way you drive, Frank. It's adorable.
But, yes, people say I drive like a pensioner. That's what they say.
Yeah, you pretty much do.
I just feel comfortable in that trilby. But
it's just when you were driving past once, I did think it was Mr. Magoo.
But if I was the same size as John Bercow, I wouldn't drive a Volvo. I'd drive a tuk-tuk.
Yes.
Whenever I walk past a tuk-tuk, I always think, wouldn't it be brilliant to arrive somewhere in one of those? I mean, they look a bit tentative on that front wheel, but they're so lovely and cute, and they say I've turned my back on all the macho driving Top Gear. You know, hey man, let's burn some rubber, and I've gone for a tuk-tuk. I respect it. If we've got any tuk-tuk owners, why don't... That's this week's Tuxtin.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
We've had a very topical text in, 281. Jay Bercow was heading to our charity event to raise money for state schools in Chelsea.
Huh?
Presumably to abolish them.
No. See, I told you he was going to a charity event.
I know. 2 mums set to raise... I can't read that figure. Is it 20,000?
I think so,
200,000 in 2 hours or something. Anyway, it must be 20.
20.
We raised 30,000 with John's help.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's all right to smash into people's cars if that's what he did. But, I mean, good on him for getting involved in that. So he's all... You know, I know it's... You think, oh, God, John Bercow. But, you know, there's goodness in there.
We've had a tweet from Strong and Northern, how they refer to themselves.
Not so pro John Bercow.
He says, I thought the world had gone mad. I swear I heard you say John Virgo was the Speaker of the House of Commons.
That would be great.
That's a new move at the last minute.
Is it just a different snooker player?
Order.
No.
Order. Order. Yeah, so Bercow, whatever he did that night, was on an errand of mercy, so respect.
Hope no one ever says that about me.
On the subject of men in suits,
Oh.
I'll tell you something I've picked up on just lately. Now, I don't know if this can't be coincidence. I've seen 4 examples of this, and I don't know quite what it's about. I walk around a lot, if you know. I cover a lot of miles around London, and sometimes during rush hour in the morning, and on my way somewhere, I don't just walk about, and I've seen businessmen, or not businessmen, people who work in offices, so the normal suit, blah.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed is that they're walking in to work, and they've got their ties around their necks.
Oh.
Under their collars, but not not loose, not just hanging straight down, not knotted in any way.
Like a football scarf.
So hanging like a scarf. And I've seen, like I say, 4 examples of this. Now, is this a new trend that's coming, that you don't fasten your tie till you get into work?
How interesting.
Yeah. It's very recent. I've only seen it the last month.
Is it the male equivalent of wearing flats before you get into your heels when you get to work?
Maybe it is
Or
that.
also taking your bra off when you get home watching the telly. We all do it.
Yeah.
Well, I have put on a few pounds. It's sort of necessary.
You don't take your bra off to watch the telly, do you?
I do.
You
Daisy,
must be fiercely underwired.
Daisy, do you ever do that?
Oh, God, put her on the spot. So, Daisy, do you take your bra off to watch the telly?
Do you, Daisy?
Where are you wearing your bra? Is it wearing on your head? You have to take it
No,
off.
but it hurts by the end of the day.
That's the latest text in.
No, let's not get into bras. But if anyone knows why, I keep calling them businessmen, but that's slightly misleading. People who work in offices walk in with the tie undone.
And if I could, I'd just have one text in support of my bra removal.
I'm glad it'll be in support. I don't see any women working in with their bras just hanging down at their sides. Oh, I'll fasten this when I get in. Give me a bit of freedom in my power walking.
Oh, it's so nice when you take it off.
Thanks. Well, I'll do my best.
Got Fonzie-like skills, one-handed.
Yeah, right out the sleeve. Don't even take the top off. Straight down the sleeve. and where's my wristwatch? Oh, man. Brilliant.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Well, it turns out I'm not alone with the bra removal.
It seems that Britain is swinging free.
Line 15, my bra comes off as soon as I walk through the front door.
Really?
140, through door, bra off. 170, don't worry, Emily, I do the same thing.
It sounds like some sort of electric system that when you walk through the beam, your bra shoots off like Barbara Windsor in Carry On Camping.
862, I'm a comfortable 34C, generally omit the bra wherever possible.
We didn't ask for sizes.
No.
We did not ask for sizes. 662 says, don't worry, the first thing I do when I get home is remove my bra through my sleeve. I've done that.
That's good, through the sleeve.
Oh, I love that.
It's explaining to me now why my girlfriend's bras are always on top of the microwave. I just thought they were warming. But she must come in and that's where it must go. I suppose she heads straight to the kitchen.
Kath is such a bra remover, I can't tell you.
Is she really? I haven't really
can tell.
noticed.
She's like me.
I'll get told off now for not noticing.
That's an interesting phrase, such a bra remover.
Yeah.
That's a
I'd see that as a
phenomenon I've never
positive.
heard
They used
of.
to
Don't
call
get me
me
wrong.
that in the old days. But now,
Touring in the 90s.
yeah, but now it's all changed.
We have had an answer on the tie issue.
Oh,
from,
good.
Harry has texted to say, I think he's relating it to happy slapping, basically. He says, I think people keep their ties undone because there is a spate of school children pulling on the long end of the knot. It's really hard, so that the knot goes really small and tight,
Oh, is
and
that
they're left
right?
with a long spindly tie when it's not
choking.
done
And a
up.
choking hazard.
So you're telling me they're wearing them like this because they don't want to be choked by school children?
That's Harry's theory. This way it slides past their collar, they can dance away unharmed.
Broken Britain. Is that why women are taking their bras off? That their children might come over and crack 2 or 3 ribs by tightening their strap. What's happened to the world? Merlin's gone, now this.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Oh, I've just taken my athletic support down a couple of notches.
Oh.
Inspired by all this bra talk. You know what I mean? I feel so much easier in myself.
They're still coming in, these people. I mean, really, this is going on a lot out there. 540, definitely get bra off. Cleaner always comments.
Cleaner always comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cleaner always comments as well when they walk in through the urinal. Which I can do without, because I always say, floor's cold.
And Fee, Frank, says, my husband leaves his tie hanging around his neck because he gets too hot. He asked me to let you know.
When he walks in. See, I wondered is that what he means?
Well, no.
Is it like Tom Jones at the end of a gig? And he has the bow tie hanging down.
I love
Shelley
that.
and Knots has supported the bra thing as well. The first thing I do when I get in from the school run in the afternoon is take my bra off.
Isn't
Yeah.
it? I had no idea they were such a symbol of restraint and
Oh, yeah.
constriction.
That's why ladies burnt them.
Of course. Of course. Anyway, what else?
Well, I'm delighted to be here, Frank. But I have had to sacrifice...
so what should we talk about now?
I've had to sacrifice a thing that I'm sure you would have been happy to be able to go to as well. As we speak, one of the monthly Doctor Who events is happening at the British Film Institute.
That's true.
And I had tickets to it, and once I got the opportunity to do this, I decided to do this because I need the work.
Oh, God, this has got a bit... gizzle job.
I will work for food,
This
ladies
has got
and
a bit
gentlemen.
yosser.
Look on Boys to the Black stuff in the studio.
Yeah, well, it's good. We're glad you come in.
I need the work. I don't want to hear that.
Ian, where's my wallet?
Where's my wallet? Oh, it's in Steve Hall's bag.
Yes.
And so,
And of course it's happening, what, a 20-minute walk away?
indeed.
What, this
And
Doctor Who
They're
thing?
showing the Doctor Who the movie, so it's the Paul McGann
They're not that
one from the
The
90s.
eighth.
I wish you told me, because I could have made an excuse not to go.
And Mr. McGann is present. He's doing the Q&A.
Frank likes him.
But so because I couldn't use the tickets, I was keen
Can I
to...
say they're like gold dust as well,
Are
those
they?
tickets? They go like lightning. Well, I said they like gold dust.
And then you said they went like lightning.
Is gold dust any good?
Depends who you buy it from.
To be honest, no, but I would rather have a ticket, I think,
Than
for a
gold
Doctor Who
dust.
event than... Well, I don't know what... I wouldn't know where to take gold dust.
Why was
You wouldn't
gold-
believe it. If someone offered you some gold dust, you would simply think that that's a ground up crunchy.
Well,
Why is-
I'd think that's nice, gold dust, but would you do post office?
Do you
Bank?
know what? We've got to update that. They're like, for scarcity of
Yeah,
things.
they're
Because
like-
gold dust doesn't work, does it?
They're
You're
like
right.
Doctor Who BFI tickets.
No, but is it the assay office you have to go to? Is that where you go with gold dust? Anyone out there, where do you go if you're given gold dust, if you're lucky enough to get hold of this elusive item? What do you do with it then? I suppose you could put it in one of those... Remember those things that used to look a bald man on and used to move iron filings about? But then again, I don't think it's magnetic. It's worse. It's not as good as iron filings.
The Frank Skinner Show. Listen live every Saturday morning from 8 on Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean and Steve Hall. We were talking about what I'm calling Steve's Dilemma.
Yeah.
Indeed. It's a good car, a dilemma.
The Vauxhall Dilemma. I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
They should be more inventive, shouldn't they, with their car names?
Yeah.
Yeah. I drive the Austin Uncertainty.
we were talking about Doctor
How's
Who.
that Toyota Nemesis you're driving?
we were just discussing Paul Renault McGann.
Yes.
Oh, lovely,
And
Steve.
thank you. We were discussing how the tickets to these Doctor Who events, they are indeed like gold dust. They are rare as hen's teeth.
Have we found out what you do with gold dust? Has anyone let us know that?
No, but I mean, 225 has offered up this.
Send it to him. Is it going to be one of those jokes?
No.
Okay.
You can use it to sprinkle on cakes or to put into chocolate if you're making your own chocolates. I
Yeah,
bet that's a
I'm
West
not-
11 postcode.
I'm not sure that's its main purpose, though, is it?
No. What's gold dust for?
Does gold dust feature in the Doctor Who TV movie? Haven't it flashback now of someone taking a couple of sacks from the TARDIS of gold dust and the Doctor saying that's all right, you can keep it, but maybe
That sounds
maybe
like a
it
good
wasn't
episode.
the
To
movie.
sprinkle on
but-
some cakes.
It might have been the movie. Anyway, this is boring for anyone. Sorry.
Anyway, I wanted to do a good turn because I had these tickets I couldn't use, so I wanted to offer them. I'm not as knowledgeable about Who as you are, but I wanted to offer them to some people I know to see if anyone would cherish
Yeah,
them.
you're a proper lover of Who, though.
I am, and the excellent comedian Toby Haydock.
Oh, yeah.
Who does a brilliant Doctor Who podcast. So I thought I'll go to him. He knows everyone, so I'll go to
He
him.
does know a lot about Doctor Who.
And so I emailed him, said, do you want to see if anyone wants to come? And then I didn't hear from him for a few days. So I returned the tickets to the box office, as is my right. And about an hour after I'd done that, he got in touch with me and said, I've found someone who will worship you forever and thank you for the tickets. They'll take them off your hands. And I felt awful because I was really wanting to do someone a good turn, and I've ended up feeling like some kind of ticket tease.
Oh,
So it's the ultimate. And I have to admit, there was an element of philanthropy plus 5% because I was hoping to maybe get some inside info on whether the missing episodes rumours are true.
Oh, I see.
So there was self-interest, but of a gossipy Patrick Troughton related nature.
Yes. Well,
And I'm intrigued by good when you set out with the best of intentions and it all goes horrendously wrong. I'm
Yes.
intrigued by these moments. There's a similar moment I once had. I saw a gentleman at Melbourne Zoo who lifted up a child that wasn't his to try and enable the child to get a better view of the gorillas. And as he picked that child up, he accidentally smashed that child's head into the ceiling of the little booth that they were watching from.
right.
And that man was me. I should add.
Oh, I love that. That's like
Yeah.
that at the end of Deck of Cards when he says, I was that soldier.
I'm intrigued when you start off meaning the best and it goes horribly wrong.
What about
Yes.
when I gave you a lift the other week? That happened then.
Was that good intention?
Well, it wasn't really good intentions, but okay-ish intentions. But I had a taxi, paid for it out of my own money, not on the Absolute Radio budget, frankly.
Really?
And Steve Hall, I said, have a lift with me. And he said, oh, no, I'm fine, actually. I said, no, honestly, I'm pissed. He went, no, I'm fine. I I said, no, I insist. So we got in the cab, and I think we dropped you a bit in the middle of nowhere. And it suddenly dawned on me, because I wasn't going to go out of my way, Frank. I won't go that far. But it dawned on me as he got out of the car.
He was on his way to a sex club. And then you had to drop him somewhere completely.
Exactly.
No, why? What happened?
Well, it was just that we dropped him. It wasn't really near a tube. It wasn't anywhere. And it was inconvenient for him. It would have been easier for him to have gone all the way home. I was trying to do the nice
he's
thing.
desperate for work. He probably bossed it for an hour or so.
But that was one of those ones where the conversation. It was nice to have a natter. I think you were mid.
So kind,
you were
Steve.
you were in the middle of your Edinburgh stuff, so it was nice to.
Oh, Frank doesn't like to talk about that.
I do. You just don't tell me about your new career. You and the Cockerel. That was my good intentions. I gave the Cockerel and Emily Dean a job, and now one's on location, and the other one has secret work that I'm not allowed to know about. That's what happens to good intentions. The road to hell. Remind me.
Oliver Kirk says the Renault Quandary.
I like the Renault
that's
Quandary.
Yeah, I thought he'd like that.
Good old Oliver
That's brilliant.
Kirk.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
I think we had a text.
We had a tweet from Richard Long,
Oh yeah,
who had said, "And you
Dick
are
Long.
Yeah. A poet.
And he said, you are indeed correct. He says, yes, there are bags of gold dust in the TARDIS in the TV movie. The Master offers it to Chang Lee.
Right, that's right. And I think he takes it away, and the doctor says, "It's all right, you can keep it. It's only gold dust. I don't know where to take it. It's in the same problem, so I'm sick of sprinkling it on my cakes." Eric Roberts is the Master in
Yes,
that film.
indeed.
He's fabulous.
Oh.
So, well, there's a few points I'd like to make here. One is I also have a ticket for the Doctor Who
Do you?
event today. So, I'm just going along after the show.
Excellent.
That's the obvious thing to do, isn't it? Because I've seen the movie a few times, so I'll just go along for all the lovely panel and all that.
It's a bit weird.
Well, that's yes.
If
that's
you
a very
hadn't
good.
had this weird 5% philanthropy thing, if you hadn't tried to do that, you and I could have strolled across town together. It would have been lovely. Not only would you have watched the Eighth Doctor being interviewed, you'd have been sitting next to a borderline national treasure.
Oh.
But no, you have to go and get your money back. We've got to get you some more work.
Well, this is my good intentions have been stamped into the dirt now.
Look, I'm getting a wall knocked down in my... do you want have you got a hammer?
You and that wall.
No, I, why not? Have you seen the movie?
No, that was we were saving it. It's one we'd never seen, and because
Okay.
my wife is a fairly recent convert, we were to Doctor Who, not to Judaism.
No.
We were going to.
Has she converted to...
No.
Has she not?
Oh, you've married out.
Oh, he's married out.
She's not Unzerers. Yes.
So it was going to be our special treat.
How lovely
To,
that we could have gone together.
Oh, that's a lovely treat.
That honestly never even occurred to me.
I'm so jealous of her right now.
I'll tell you what I'd like to talk about.
What?
And it's been in the news. We've mentioned Miley Cyrus quite a lot
Oh, yeah.
of late
Yes.
on this show. From I think beginning with when she was in the thick of it with Robin Thicke at the VMAs.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's planted his poison in her during that dance
It's been
thing,
awful.
but she hasn't been the same girl since.
No.
She's gone crazy.
She has indeed.
No, I don't know. Miley's gone crazy.
She's got into terrible...
Become that. Remember that transsexual from Big Brother from about...
Nadia.
It's not
Oh,
her.
but Miley Cyrus, you're a lovely girl, and she's gone crazy.
He's on my list of people that I most fear becoming, visually.
Oh, well... Yeah,
Could be worse.
I don't know. He wasn't.
Didn't you on an old World Cup podcast do something like her having a chat with Elton John?
That's maybe. I became obsessed with doing that impression. What happened? What was she called?
Nadia.
I can't
Nadia.
remember her surname.
Hey, don't worry about her surname. That's the great
I know.
joy of reality TV.
It doesn't matter.
Is that
Let's
people
call
say,
it-
and now on X Factor, it's Malcolm! It's great. It's made the Christian name a noble title.
I liked it best when I think someone called Steve, no offence, Steve, but someone just called Steve on the X Factor, didn't he? And you weren't going to go buy an album. Have you
Well,
got,
I
have you got
watched-
Steve's latest album?
When I was
Yeah,
watching
Steve.
Miss World last night, there was a guy on it called Steve who was sort of doing the presenting, and I felt he must be Julia Morley's driver or something.
Oh, do you think so?
He was like a London bloke, and he didn't have an auto cue. He was reading off cards, and he was saying, "Yes, things are really going. Yeah, we're up to the top. What's that, 5? And this is Miss World, broadcast around the. I think he must be Julia Morley's blackmailer.
Yeah.
That's obviously not a serious allegation.
Can I just say, I love that you're outraged that the production values on Miss World
Yeah,
aren't
there was
high
lots
enough
of
for
it.
you.
Was and who should be presenting Miss World?
Bruce Forsyth.
No,
Oh.
Mylene Klass.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I suppose it was in Indonesia. Is she got some? Is she some sort of
Malay-
Far East?
Malay-
yeah.
Yes,
Malay-
Malaysian.
yes, that sounds right.
I believe that Malaysia's truly Asia. Isn't that true? Do you not like that song? It's one of my favourites. Malaysia's true.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
So we were talking about Miley and Sinead.
Miley and Sinead, yes, Miley and Sinead. Ooh. Yes, in case you don't know this, and sometimes people are too busy to keep up with
News.
news, especially sort of like entertainment news. Sinead O'Connor, who many of you will remember. Oh, they compress you. I always thought that's a bit of a coincidence that Sinead is a bit like the word skinhead.
It's amazing. Isn't it?
It's like she's gone deliberately thought,
Yeah.
Sinead, that's nearly skinhead. I think I'll have my head shaved. Like
Yeah.
when Tina Hobley joined Holby City. I've always thought, she thought, what's more of this Hobley? I'm going for it. An agent saying, no, I think you can do better. No, but Hobley, Holby, come on, that's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Arsene Wenger. Anyway, Sinead O'Connor wrote what they call an open letter,
Oh, yes.
which is a bit like an open kebab, except the visible meat
Yeah.
is a wagging finger, I would say.
An open letter is by definition passive-aggressive.
Yes.
In the extreme.
But
Yeah.
why do they do these open letters? You can get hold of people, go to agents.
Yeah, why not send her a closed letter? If
Yeah.
it's to help her,
Yeah.
then just get in touch with Miley and say, I'm a bit worried about you. I think you're being exploited by those around you. And, you're a talented young girl.
Yeah.
Keep your gear on.
We need to write an open letter to anyone who ever considers writing an open letter.
That's what I'm going to do. And
Yeah. Saying, please cease and desist.
Well, you can't write to everyone who might. That would be all right. That'd be acceptable. But this one, email her. Anyway,
She felt Miley was being
Skinhead.
exploited, didn't she, by the record industry? And she said she should. She said it was written in the spirit of motherliness, is what she said.
yes, this is all based on the VMA dance, I think, is where it kicked it off.
And the video.
The video to Wrecking Ball.
But I think we could, if we were going to have a headline, it would be female pop star in sexy dance routine shocker. Because at the end of the day, I don't think Miley's the first woman to dress scantily.
Precisely.
And
It's
dance raunchily.
Yes, and it's not. I'd not previously watched the video to Wrecking Ball, and it's not particularly extreme. It's not to my tastes.
I don't know, I'm going to
but-
disagree. I think it's because she's progressively taking off layers after layers of clothing. Because in that Wrecking Ball, she's basically just got a thong on. So the next thing is going to be live autopsy with Dr. What's-his-face, the German.
Well, I don't know if you've seen her last photo shoot. Is it a bloke called Terry?
Yeah, Terry
Yeah.
Richardson.
I mean, that is... Come on.
Yeah.
Come on, dear.
Come on, dear.
Well, Terry
mean-
Richardson is creepy on a level that Robin Thicke would look at Terry Richardson and go, "That bloke's a bit
Yeah,
creepy."
and go, keep away from her.
yeah.
Yeah, you watch him.
You'd be better off having your photos done by Nick Cotton from East End.
Yes. Well, he's in some of the pictures as well. I don't know why, in a mirror. And he seems to be sort of shrieking with delight as this young woman. And she's sort of, I don't know if I can describe it. It looks like, when you see people in a flying harness, and it's very tight, it's pulled up tight around the excuse me area. Well, she's doing that with her own
With the
Her own gossip.
with the pants.
Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like she's strapped into a ride at
And
Alton
I'm
Towers.
not one to gossip, as you know.
Did you have to say gossip?
I think you can say gossip. Hold on.
Just say pants.
I'm just looking in the absolute.
Gossip is gross.
Gossip, yeah, it's under garment parts. It's fine. It's not a reference to the interiors.
Okay. What about what Smiley said back to Sinead? Because Sinead did write 3 open letters.
Yes.
And I think that she lost me at 2, I'm afraid. By the time I got on to 3,
Well,
I lost it a
I
bit.
shouldn't be surprised that Sinead goes on a bit.
But
yeah.
but she's responded. Yes, things
Miley-
escalated quickly.
She said, Sinead, I don't have time to write you an open letter because I'm performing on SNL this week.
Okay.
That's a bit rude.
How did she write? That was a
tweet.
wasn't
Yeah, she
it?
tweeted
Which is
that,
an
yeah.
open letter.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of weird because basically we've seen it's a narrative we've seen before where the way Miley's going, it's all happy, it's all I'm an individual, I'm celebrating life, and there's that trepidation that things are going to go badly and she'll end up a few years from now crying.
Yeah.
So it basically feels Miley Cyrus's life is a really slow motion hen do, where at
Yes.
the moment it's all I'm having a great time. But
it's hard to say.
2017, she'll be being sick into a toilet somewhere.
Well, it is strange because former child stars are normally just there's such balance, level-headed. I don't know how this has happened to her, but I didn't like the way she turned on Sinead and sort of suggested that what do you know? You're a nutter.
Yeah, that was
a bit harsh because if you want advice on how not to end up in. How can I put this in a sensitive way? The barmy chair, as far as a celebrity. Then you go to someone who's been in the barmy chair. That's why Sue Barker presents tennis. You've got people who've already been there and done it. So that's the person to speak to. It's no good speaking to Catherine Jenkins because she'll buy your soul. But, yeah, so I think she's exactly the person who would know about that stuff. So I thought that was a little bit unkind.
Yeah, definitely.
But, she doesn't need to do it. She's got the talent. Gaga.
Has she got the talent?
She's got a good voice. She's got that Disney belter. Gaga
good
has
voices,
to wear
good voices,
meat
10
on
a
her thighs because she can't sing.
Good voices. 10 a penny.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
By the way, while I remember, my girlfriend doesn't wear contact lenses. She wears spectacles. It's something to do with the shape of her eye. Anyway, have you heard of these contact lenses that you put them in, you sleep in them, and they change the shape of your lens so your eyesight gets better?
Is that right?
That's brilliant.
Just before I spend any money on them, I'd like to know if they're not some bogus idea like snake oil. Okay?
Wow,
I just
have to
I just
research
mentioned
this.
that. It's not no laser stuff. It's just a bit of stretching.
It depends where she's. What is it? Send us the money to
Because
PO
it's
box
off the internet.
Yeah.
Of course
Is
it's
it in
off the-
Lagos?
I think it is in Lagos.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
fine.
something to do with their space program.
Okay. I want to talk about Gwyneth Paltrow. Did you read this? She was talking about getting into showers, and she said she insists that an aide washes down the shower for her if someone else has been in there. If she's been in the gym and she's been working out, she's not down with OPW.
OPW. Other people's water.
Oh!
Lovely. I'm so proud of myself.
That is remarkable. That is.
I think it's absolutely fine. I
It's
would do
not
the same.
other people's water, though, is it? Because the water in the shower hasn't touched that person, has it?
Yeah,
Has
precisely.
it bounced
yeah,
off them? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
If it's going to touch another person, could they ever be cleaner
yeah.
than to be
It's
touched?
because it's
I
the equivalent
relate
of Alex on Big Brother, who used to get obsessed with people weeing in the shower. I can understand. that.
on X Factor, it's Alex!
And he obviously he got an advert for bleach on the back of that.
Did he?
That was his own little OCD thing, and he got an
marvellous.
advert. So maybe Gwyneth is pitching for.
Wow. Simone Cowell insists on black toilet paper, doesn't he?
Yes, I'm not sure about that. It's all right at the beginning, but when you're doing the fine tuning.
Exactly. Yeah.
What, with the black toilet paper?
There are issues of contrast.
I stayed in I stayed, especially as I drink 15 pints of Guinness a night.
He needs it for the innards of his soul.
Of course, that's a good point. I stayed at a bed and breakfast in Southend-on-Sea.
Lovely.
And I had a shower there, and the inside of the shower curtain was covered in human hair. Oh. It must have been people who had showered in that shower over the years. And there was grey hair, long hair, red hair. Wow. It was all like a fabulous...
Like a Bayer tapestry.
Yeah.
I was going to say, like the Spice Girls.
Well, it was. It was like a Spice Girls tribute made from human hair. And I wouldn't have minded someone coming in there with one of those, those lint rollers you get to take the bits, and just at least making a path for me, like Moses through the Red Sea. But that was a bit rough.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
What about Daisy, the producer's admission just now?
Yes, she said she was moved by Abby Clancy on Strictly Come Dancing.
She did. She did, like she had a tear in her eye when she said it.
You never know where you're going to find something that plucks at your heartstrings. How fabulous. The other thing with Gwyneth, by the way, was that apparently she likes to take her own drinking water to the gym, because the gym she goes to in wherever she goes, Hollywood, would it be?
No, she lives here now. Chris Martin. Probably my gym.
She's got a brand of water she likes better.
That's
but they mock her for that. But I think some water is nicer than other water.
Also,
I like a badois. You see, a badois. What's nice about a badois is it tastes. You feel a bit guilty when you really enjoy the taste of a soluble aspirin. It's got that slightly salty taste, and you think, I don't want to get into this. But badois, it has that without the medicinal.
What the readers need to picture is that as you're saying badois, you're doing a very elegant flourish with your right hand.
I'm going to just to give this a little bit more. I'd say that that badois is my favourite. Oh, my jingle isn't working. This would have been the funniest thing that ever happened.
It could be your coat of arms, Dieu et
and we're so near the end of the show to end on a flat note like this. How awful.
Can you play the Deer Hunter music? Well, that's...
Can I say on the subject of drinks, though, and a drink that I might take to a gymnasium? I mean, I don't wish to advertise, but are you familiar with Pret-a-Manger?
Oh, yes. I'm loving all this French pronunciation.
Well, Pret-a-Manger they do a ginger drink.
Can I say, readers, he's still trying to find that jingle.
I am.
This is
so
Frank
annoyed.
Gets like Buzz after a toy. He won't let it go until he gets his laugh.
I feel I've been let down by my support staff.
Thanks.
Not really. Yes, if you buy the ginger drink from Pret-a-Manger, what they've done is they've taken the piece of raw ginger and they've carved it into the shape of a dog.
Have they?
Wow.
Yeah. Why have they done that?
Oh, I don't know.
There isn't a famous ginger dog or anything of that nature. It's just random. It's a random carving with the contents.
I love the way you say ginger. There's a bit. It's one of your stand-up routines where you talk about
but we're getting
raw ginger.
Frank, we're getting to the end of the show, and we didn't even have a chance to discuss Kanye West insisting on the carpet being ironed.
Well, there's always next week.
Okay.
Just remember that. Can someone tell me why they're going for the ginger dog on the Pret-a-Manger ginger drink? Then I'll be a happy...
Why do you pronounce it like that?
That's French. Do you not know it's French?
But no one says, I'm just going to Pret-a-Manger. Do you want coffee?
Also,
they should.
Can I just say
start
as
that
well,
as a trend.
It's called a ginger drink. There's quite a lot of grape juice in it. It doesn't get a billing. It should be ginger and grape juice, and they should give the dog... well, no, perhaps they couldn't do that.
Do you know what it's like? It's like one of those writers on the panel show. It's a programme associate.
Yeah, that's what it is. It is, exactly that. It's the secret ingredient. You know what? It's been lovely today, Steve. It's always good to have you on. Yeah. And you know what? If the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now, get out!
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.